Wanted to get on here this morning and talk about how Black women are being basically erased, and we're contributing to our own erasure. And the way that we're doing that is by continuing to concede to notions that, for example, number one, our Black hair is unacceptable or unkempt, or the way that our hair naturally grows out of our scalp is not suitable for special events or workplaces. And this was really brought to my attention when I had first started my lock journey. I've had locks for 6 years now. And this came to my attention when I had first started my lock journey, and my husband at the time, now ex-husband for more than one reason, but my husband at the time wanted to go somewhere special, and he was asking me what I was going to do with my hair. And I was a little bit taken aback by that, because number one, what does it matter to you what I'm going to do with my hair? And number two, why do I have to change my hair in order for it to be acceptable to you to go to this place? And the more that I think about it, the more that I realize that we have been conditioned to believe that we have to do our hair, that we have to finish our hair, go get our hair done, right? Like our hair in its current natural state is not complete. There's something that needs to be done to it to make it look beautiful, to make it look presentable. And just that way of thinking alone has really destroyed a lot of young Black girls' views of themselves from childhood. That slicking down of the edges, that you need to wear this scarf or your hair is going to get messed up in the style that we had, that you need to get your hair pressed and curled for this event that we're doing. Your natural hair is not good enough. You have to go get this done. Beauty is pain, right? You have to have this in order to be beautiful. And it's going to hurt sometimes, but you just have to get over it. And I saw, when the whole natural hair movement was coming out, a lot of these industries were losing out on money. So what do? They try to put their hands into it, and then because that wasn't working, they get influencers. They get the beautiful people, the lovely young ladies who have long hair, who have beautiful curly hair textures, and they pay them to wear weaves. I literally know at least 2 girls off the top of my head who were getting paid big money, and they had naturally beautiful hair. They naturally beautiful girls. They were being paid big money to wear wigs and weaves and get sew-ins and all that stuff when they didn't even really need it, just so that they could push forward this image of the Black woman with the full face of makeup and the hair done. And I see things in real life that I'm just shocked and appalled by, like teenage girls wearing lace front wigs to high school. Why? Little girls who feel like they're not pretty, or who feel like they have to get that self-care is adding a whole bunch of fake things onto themselves, like fake nails, fake hair, fake eyelashes, fake face, and that is taking care of yourself. Adding all these expensive things to yourself is the only way that you can take care of yourself, instead of actually implementing a nutritious diet, a lifestyle of prayer and meditation on the Word of God, an exercise regime that you do daily, or at least a couple of times a week. There are much more actual self-care things that we can do for ourselves, but instead you see these YouTube videos with, my $5,000 self-care routine, my $100 self-care routine, all that stuff. Putting on acrylic nails is actually the opposite of self-care. You're destroying your natural nail bed. Getting a lace front wig, what is it called? A sew-in. Both the opposite of actual self-care, because the process of doing these things actually damages what you currently have, especially wigs. You've all seen the pictures of Tyra Banks and Naomi Campbell without wigs on. Atrocious, you know, and they were the forefront, they were the poster child of Black women in beauty. And now if you look at them and strip away all the things that made them beautiful, they're not, you know, that in their old age, they're just not. And the fact of the matter is, the reason that the Black woman's image can be so replicated by every other race, by men, for goodness sakes, by drag, I refuse to call them queens, by the people who participate in drag, by males like Patrick Starr and Jeffree, whatever his last name, Jeffree Star, yeah. Brad, what is that little Filipino boy's name? I don't know what his name is, but y'all probably know who I'm talking about. I think his name starts with Brad or something like that. All of them have this way of being that is so similar, so snappy, so sassy, just like a Black woman, and they say that it comes from their own culture. It couldn't be. Nearly all homosexual males who are flamboyant try to take the attitude and the stature and the way of talking and the face, the look of Black women. And you know, it frustrates me, especially when it's an actual Black man doing it. Like, I grew up, when I was growing up rather, Tyler Perry was still doing plays. So when I was in middle school and high school, Tyler Perry was doing plays. He hadn't gone to do movies yet. And I don't know why the church supported this so much when really, sorry, I thought my car was being taken or something. When really, you know, in all reality, although there was a play attached to it, Tyler Perry was in drag. It just is what it is. Every single time they put a Black man in woman's clothing and tell him to act like a Black woman, that is drag. It is what it is. And, you know, when are we going to ask ourselves, why will Black men not stop perpetuating this image of Black women that isn't really even real? And why don't they allow Black women to be this funny caricature? Like, do you ever ask yourself that? Like, they have the Medeas, they have the Shanaes, they have whatever the name was that Jamie Foxx was dressing up like, all the Black men who have worn dress, right? Why didn't those producers choose an actual Black woman to play that role? Why is a man in a dress the thing that is pushed? You know, why is emasculating our men the thing that is pushed? And until we stop funding this bullshit, because that's what it is, it's actually bullshit. Until we stop funding this, we're going to continue to be a caricature. We're going to continue to have little girls who feel like they need to wear a full face of makeup and fake eyelashes. What, you know, nobody really needs any of this stuff, right? Even the people who can afford it. Nobody really needs to put an animal's hair on their eyeballs or, you know, their eyelids in order to be beautiful. And it doesn't actually make you beautiful. It makes you appear to be beautiful. When at the end of the day, when the glue wears off and when the lashes fall out, which they do after a couple of days, you start looking crazy. And you have to go back for another fix, for another hit of dopamine, for another way to make yourself feel beautiful, when it should come from within. Not even the things that are on your outside, not even the way that you dress. It should be, I am beautiful because that's just how I was made, regardless of how I actually look, regardless of if I have texture on my skin or if I have a natural 5 o'clock shadow or something like that, regardless of if my hair is slicked back or not. Real confidence is saying that I can have all these flaws and still be beautiful. It's saying that I don't need to put on the fake stuff in order to feel validated, in order to, I don't need people to compliment me on things that are not even really a part of how I look naturally in order to feel good about myself. I just feel good about myself because I love myself. You know, whenever we can bring that back, that mindset that you can't buy beauty, we're going to be keeping the money that is flowing out of our community into the pockets of Asian and white and whatever other races checkbooks. Because imagine if tomorrow every single Black woman decided, I'm not buying weave anymore. What is that billion-dollar industry going to do? What are they going to do with all that hair? We're the ones who are shooting other people over bundles. We're the ones who are breaking into hair shops trying to steal weave and wigs. We're the ones who feel, older Black women, right? Feel so uncomfortable with their own hair after decades of treating it like it's garbage that they can't even go to the house of the Lord without a wig, without somebody else's hair, without some fake hair. Imagine if we all decided tomorrow that the natural us is better than the fake, than the perpetration, than us masking how we really look. Imagine how much money you would save. How much money you would save by actually taking care of yourself, taking care of your own hair, not going to get it done, but staying home, actually taking care of what you've been given. And I say this from experience. Like I said, when I first started my lock journey, it was rough. It was rough because I didn't realize how much of my self-care and my hair care actually was doing the opposite of caring for it. I didn't realize that the gels and the creams that I was using in my hair was actually causing it to be more brittle and causing it to break off and causing it to be more difficult to deal with than if I would have just dealt with it in its regular state. And I say all this to say that we're going into a new year and we need to think about ourselves differently. We need to think about our young girls and boys differently, and we need to push forward an image that we can be proud of when we get old. You know, I want to be one of those old ladies with hair down my back. I don't want to be one of those old ladies who perm the crap out of their hair and wigs and weave the crap out of their front so they have to wear something to cover the front of their hair all the time because all that hair was rubbed away, gone. You've seen them, and so have I. I don't want to be one of those old ladies who has super short, brittle hair because of all the years, decades that I didn't take care of it. I don't want to be one of those old ladies who's in 250, almost 300 pounds because I didn't take care of my body. I want to be a grandma, a fit grandma, you know, a fine grandma, a silver fox. I don't know if silver foxes apply to women, but if it does, it's a silver fox. I want to be that. I want to be someone who my husband can, in our old age, say, my wife still got it. My wife's still fine. My wife's still beautiful naturally. That's how she naturally looks. That's what I want to be. And that's what we should all really be striving for, is not to have the facade, the appearance of a thing, but to actually be beautiful. Not to have the facade of long nails, but actually take care of your nails and they'll grow. Not to have the facade of good skin by putting makeup on, but actually take care of your skin. Figure out what is causing it to flare up and deal with it, you know? I think we'd all be a lot better off. That's all that I have to say for this morning. Remember, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And anytime you take what God has made and you say that that's not good enough, who are you really insulting in that? Have a blessed week.